Succulents and other plants are separated into genera based on common characteristics and common ancestors. One of these characteristics is the inflorescence, aka flowers. While some species within a genus can have slightly different flowers, they are usually pretty similar. In most cases, the shape, size and the way they grow are almost the same. In this video, we'll have a look at some of the most common genera of succulents and their flowers. We will then discuss the similarities and how to tell them apart from other similar types of succulents they're often mistaken for. But before we start, let's get familiar with some basic flower terminology. This will make it easier for me to explain and for you to understand what I'm on about. All of the parts that make up the bloom are called inflorescence. Parts of the inflorescence will include the stem, leaves, sepal and flowers. The flowers can further be broken down into petals, pistil and stamen. Pistil and stamen can be broken down even further, but we won't go into as much detail. All we need to know is that pistil are the female parts in the center and stamen male. With that out of the way, let's have a look at some gorgeous flowers. Inflorescence of species and cultivars within the Aeonium genus are quite easy to identify. There are some differences in color, but overall, all of the species grow very similar. Aeonium are monocarpic and the flowering rosette will die with the inflorescence. The petals are mostly bright yellow and the flowers form a large cone shape. The stem is quite thick and grows out of the center of the rosette. A mature Aeonium in bloom is hard to miss as the inflorescence holds dozens if not hundreds of yellow flowers. Aloe can sometimes be confused with another genus called Haworthia. Both can form a very similar shape, but the inflorescences are quite different. Aloe flowers are usually red, orange or yellow, though some newer hybrids can have off-white flowers, which makes them similar to Haworthia, but still not quite the same. The stems are tall, growing high above the foliage. They don't arch and go straight up. The flowers are a tubular shape, petals overlapping. Now, the species in Ceropegia genus have cunning and slightly devious flowers. They are designed to trap insects, so they are forced to get pollen all over themselves and are then released. The petals of Ceropegia are often fused at the top to create a cage, momentarily jailing the insects. While they can differ in appearance, all Ceropegia have 5 petals and are tubular in shape. The base is usually slightly swollen. Ceropegia are ramblers and the most popular of them is Ceropegia woody, also known as the chain of hearts. Plants in the Cotyledon genus have amazing pendulous inflorescence. They're usually an orange-red color and the petals peel back. The stalk rises high above the foliage and the flowers grow as a cluster in some Cotyledon species, but others grow a single flower from each branch. Crassula is a large genus of plants and their flowers can be different, though they are still somewhat similar. Most Crassula grow clusters of small star-shaped flowers with 5 petals. The color can range from white to red. They will grow on a short stalk from the center. Echeveria are renowned for their stunning flower arches. Although these plants are rarely grown for the inflorescence, it is a lovely surprise when they do come up. All Echeveria flowers grow on a tall stem. Most will form an arch, but some species such as Echeveria pulvinata will grow straight up. The flowers are bell-shaped and can range in color. Some are even bi- or tricolor. Echeveria are often confused with other rosette-forming succulents such as Pachyphytum, Senecio and Graptopetalum, and here's how you can tell what they are from the flowers. Pachyphytum and Echeveria inflorescence are, in my opinion, the most difficult to tell apart. They both arch over the rosette and are kind of bell-shaped. One difference I was able to observe are the sepals. They tend to stay tightly wrapped around the petals and the whole flower never emerges. In Echeveria, the sepals grow back and allow the petals to fully grow out. Sedeveria and Graptoperia are hybrids created by cross-pollination of Echeveria and Sedum and Graptopetalum and Echeveria. These are often also hard to tell apart, but I believe the flowers can help identify which is which. In the case of Echeveria versus Sedeveria, the flowers in Sedeveria usually grow in bunches and tend to be yellow. This is a trait from the Sedum. The Echeveria genes in Sedeveria make the flowers kind of bell-shaped and growing tall above the rosettes. In the case of Graptoperia, the flowers look more like Graptopetalum flower, but the Echeveria genes make them a little less open and more of a bell. In some cases, the similarities in flowers can make it hard to make 100% positive identification, and other characteristics will need to be looked at. Many grow Epiphyllum for their flowers. They are truly something else and can grow huge. This genus has been heavily hybridized purely to get new flower shapes and colors. One thing that gives Epiphyllum flowers away is the stamen and pistil. The stamen in particular come out in great numbers bursting with pollen. The pistil is long too and the end is kind of star-shaped. The inflorescence is pretty uniform in all Gasteria species. In fact, the flower is how Gasteria got their name. It's shaped a bit like a stomach. Stomach in Latin is gaster. Multiple pendulous flowers grow on a long stem above the plant. The color is orange-red at the base, turning yellow-green on the ends. Graptopetalum inflorescence is difficult to confuse, and apart from the color, the shape remains same or very similar across all of the species. The perfect star-shaped flowers open up along with the stamen. The color can be white, yellowish or a shade of pink-red. The pistil in the middle is yellow. The inflorescence here is unmistakable. The cute little white or greenish flowers rise up above the plant and open up one by one. Some species can have brown or green lines running down the flower petals. Kalanchoe are a bit difficult when it comes to inflorescence. The species in this genus can have very dissimilar flowers. Some can be open and star-shaped, others are pendulous, very similar to Cotyledon inflorescence, and then there are Kalanchoe with the bell-shaped flowers. There's one thing they all have in common though, they are poisonous. While the whole plant is toxic, the poison is particularly concentrated in the flowers and can be lethal to pets and cause poisoning in humans. We kind of looked at the Pachyphytum flower earlier. They are very similar to Echeveria and arch over the rosettes. Peperomia grow a very unassuming inflorescence. It's just this yellowish spike. Pretty much all Peperomia have the same flower, though the thickness can vary. Rhipsalis inflorescence is almost like a miniature version of Epiphyllum flowers. They are multipetal, usually an off-white color, and have the pistil and stamen growing out. There's lots of stamen. They grow along the plant's branches, though some just come out at the end. Most Sedum have yellow or white star-shaped flowers that burst out in bunches. Some Sedum can grow pink flowers as well. Many have short stems while others rise high above the foliage. They can be very much like Crassula flowers and can be hard to tell apart. Senecio is a huge genus of succulent and non-succulent plants. The flower shape is, however, very similar across most succulent Senecio species. The inflorescence can grow in bunches in some species or as a single flower in others. The color is off-white but can be yellow as well. Now, there's of course more succulent genera out there, but we would be here for days if I was to talk about all of them. The ones we looked at are, in my opinion, the most common and most popular, and therefore most worthy of covering. And on that note, it's time to end. I hope this video was useful, and if you have anything to add or would like to ask a question, you can do so in the comments below. To learn more about succulents, hit the subscribe button or go to our website succulentgrowingtips.com. Thank you very much for watching.